Hi, guys.
Yeah. What's your problem?
Well, that was an awkward start.
Need a
Okay,
drink?
so
Go to
I
the
have been
beer.
working on my build for the last couple of weeks, and I had run into a problem. That was actually with my computer. Still struggling with it. Um, it's basically my hard drive. My C drive keeps filling up, which, um, long and short, I have 5 drives. Two of them are SSDs. One of them has Skyrim on it. And the other one has my operating system. The operating system is a smaller drive. It's, I think, 250 gigs. I forget. But whatever it is, and for whatever reason, it keeps filling it itself up. And it's
City's
been
quiet
causing
enough
me
now, but when
a
the
bit of
sun
a
comes
headache,
up,
and I haven't been able to go out and buy another one, and I've been trying to move the operating system off that one, but
you
it
could
won't
say the last one
clone.
is the city under the sea.
Yeah. It's been
Dangerous
a
to
bit of a
use
pain.
as cities
The other drives, I have a 500 SSD that Skyrim is on. And I have two 500 regular, I think they're SATA 2 or SATA 3. They're a little bit older drives. And then I have one that is 2 or 3 terabytes. I forget. That's just a regular speed. So, but needless to say, it's been a bit of a pain that I've been dealing with, trying to have it not make my computer do things that make me angry. So, you're right. But because of that, excuse me, I had been messing around with a different build. The big thing that I really want in my game is a couple of the bigger mods. And the problem is just getting those to not conflict. So I've been doing a little bit of a slower build in kind of my spare time, building this up. And this is one of those, to see what happens. Very pretty. So,
There's an apothecary in town,
Wait.
yeah. It's down on the lower freeway, so stay sharp as you go down.
So in this one, what I am trying to get to work together, rock, is I have in sort of my base mods. My base mods consist of, the CCOR, CCF, WAFR, FNIS, XP32. It seems that all of these are just letters. Kind of makes me laugh, actually. Immersive weapons, immersive armors, Jesus weapons, bandolier, cloaks of Skyrim, winter's coming. You know, heavy weapons I have in there. Fog's kind of cool. The only part I don't like about this fog is actually the silhouette. Because it makes it feel, I don't know, are there places in the world that light actually works that way? I could be wrong. But yeah, so I have all of those on here. Live Another Life. Basically the mods that are kind of absolutely necessary: SkyUI, race menu, my autosave manager, safety load. You know, it's the things you cannot, in my opinion, make a build without. Oop. So I started with those. And I've started adding in bits and pieces. And the biggest one, the first one that I added in was Legacy of the Dragonborn. I adore that mod. I adore what Ice Cream Assassin has done. And I added in Skyrim Bridges. And I've started adding in just little bits as I add in like one big mod that I really want and one smaller one, like in this case Skyrim Bridges. And then parts of the step protocol. And I try to do about 5 mods per take, as it were, per run. And so at first I added appropriately attired Jarls and the enchantment reload fix and Brawl Bugs modern fix. Hello. And that all worked. So I continued on and I added Percus Maximus. Which I did find, so I've struggled with Percus Maximus and Legacy of the Dragonborn do have an incompatibility, and that is something to the effect of Percus Maximus you can make 4 forged items or something like that, which are, I guess, randomly generated or something where Legacy of the Dragonborn does not recognize them. So be it. It's more of a, look, those pieces just won't work with this mod, and less of a, as I understand it, oh crap, everything's going to crash. Excuse me. So, but what I did do, because I was running into the frustration of Percus Maximus was taking a lot of mods, I believe, from Legacy of the Dragonborn, which would be, or a lot of weapons and armor, which would be the replicas. And it was putting them in the leveled lists and kicking them out all over the place. And yeah, I didn't like that. That was very frustrating. So I actually removed Legacy of the Dragonborn from I put it on Percus Maximus's block list. This is the first time I've done that. We'll see if it works. I don't know if what will happen
Agreed. We can't afford to try again.
is what I want. Because I don't want Legacy of the Dragonborn stuff distributed. It doesn't really add weapons that should be distributed. But I do want Legacy of the Dragonborn stuff reprocced so that it's all the same score. You know, so that longswords are longswords. And they do longsword damage. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I am unsure at this point. Get back here. Okay. Doesn't actually make it better. That works.
You won't live to see tomorrow.
Go. Let's see. Ow. 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 Okay. Ooh, there you are. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to kind of try and take a look at a couple of the relic weapons that I come across during this run through to see how they're doing. As you can see here, I have added Spices of Life, barrels, and fences because I do adore that mod. That's on one that that's the current test has that in it. As we'll call it untested. Dude, that hit my camera. Um, so, and I do have, of course, my ENB on, which is Vividian. It has vivid snows, vivid clouds, and vivid weathers in there. And I found that apparently a little bit ago that I had missed, somebody made a patch for vivid weathers and True Storms, which True Storms is my favorite weather one. So I have True Storms and Vivid Weathers in here. And I will say, I'm stuck. I will say I love it. 95% of the time, the weather is kicking ass. It's different. It's moody. It's unique. It's foggy. It's rainy. It's snowy. It's windy. I love it. So that's fantastic. I do have cutting room floor in here, of course, to add a couple of the lost places that the developers took out and Arthmore has kindly put back in. Thank you, Arthmore. Because I am using Perks Maximus, I do have the uncapper on there. And I have Fus Rodeau for any dialogue without voices. Oh, there's somebody behind you. I was like, I do not have Dual Sheath Redux on here, but apparently your friend there is wielding two weapons.
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants to see them.
Right on. I do have improved close face helms, as you can tell. So then I put in JKs and Cold Border banners. And enhanced lights and effects with the better message box control and better dialogue control. Now, all of those I have tested and done a full run through. And in running through all of Skyrim, which takes about 4 hours, I had 3 crashes. I find that acceptable. So, and on this round, what I am testing is Enhanced Landscapes. That's the first one, and I honestly think that's the one that's going to be the least compatible, which might make this specific run-through less successful. We'll see, I suppose. It's the one that's adding in these neat little grasses like this. It takes care of grasses, so I don't have to put in verdant, although, as I understand it, it does work with unique grass and ground covers, so I'll put that in later. So there's that. I have Swift in here, which is the Skyrim Wayshrines Immersive Fast Travel, I think is what it's called. Because I love those. Just scattered around Skyrim. Spice of Life is part of this one. And I did put in easier lockpicking, the main font replacer, spinning emblem in the main menu, time on loading screen, and trade and barter, and realistic... What is it? Something in force, the thing that handles how far you slide, gravity and all that stuff. And I edited legendary cities. Let's see if we don't crash. Cross your fingers.
Staying safe, I hope.
So here's Sunguard, looking fantastic. And it does have, yep, this is one place where I have noticed specifically this city
Good afternoon.
is not compatible with the enhanced landscapes. And that's okay, because deleting it actually doesn't do it. Love the ability to have barrels. It's just nice. It really is. Look at that. Look at that. Fish barrel, and apparently an unused one. There's Skyrim Bridges. Brilliant. Skyrim Bridges does have one incompatibility, or one minor flaw, as it were, with legendary cities. I'll show in just a moment. Oh, and I have Purity, because Purity is wonderful. That's this. And if I delete those, I have to delete this whole hillock here with some of the actual plants. So what I may end up doing in the long run is maybe just grabbing that rock if I can and moving it over, placing it in front of this thing, and trying to just cover that up. But aside from that, I mean, if you can ignore that, it's great. I actually don't know how to, like, just place a rock over the top of that. If anybody does know, like, you know, copy this fence and put another one right there while you're in game, like, let me know. It'd be a neat trick. So yeah, that's what I'm doing on this run, is mostly checking out to make sure that legendary cities and enhanced landscapes are compatible throughout, and working with JKs, Percus Maximus, and Legacy of the Dragonborn. So those would be the big 5 that I have in right now. And then I'm not getting crashes like that. I'm sure I will, and I will be very sad. Oh. I do love these. This is Enhanced Landscapes, puts like a lot of water plants in, and just thank you so much for that. Absolutely wonderful. Hello. Oh, you know what I could do? Let's change this. I like to change settings on autosave so that it does not save immediately after. Because what I find is, when you're in combat, and when you've just found a location, there's a lot of scripts running. And if you add in an autosave manager that's trying to prioritize and shove itself through, right there, I find I get more crashes. But if I just tell it, hey, you know, take a look every 60 seconds.
I hope nobody misses that. Are they gone?
They won't.
Bandits attacked and ransacked my cart. Can
Well,
you
then
help
they
me?
won't miss that.
My camp is nearby in the ruins of Nilheim. Get me there safely, and you'll be rewarded.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. Love this. Skyrim Bridges. The Purity waterfall. That's beautiful. Fog laden. Misty.
We're close now. I can see the camp. Wait here. I'll be right back with your reward. You picked a bad time to get...
That's your kneecaps. Wait. Okay, well, come challenge me. And no, I'm not using any of these ingredients. Watch anything that I've kind of messed around with before in any logical fashion. I'm just trying to push the system so that it's having to think about what I'm doing. As part of testing to make sure that, you know, everything is balanced and not broken, not crashing. Oh, okay. Oh, I already got that one. Steel short sword. think the only thing that would potentially improve, excuse me, the Spice of Life, I can't tell if he has hand-placed these or if he's got some thing that is making them random. I'm honestly not sure. But, if for some reason it did happen to be random, it would be cool if you could actually add in other textures for other barrels and sort of define them. Like maybe have it so there were 5 extra barrel slots that were just unused, and if they're unused, it's filled with one of the used ones. So you could take, you know, the SMEM has multiple barrels, barrel types. You could take those types and add them in, and have them just distributed all over the world so that you've got, you know, a dozen different barrel types depending on what you like, and you can keep and get rid of some. Do it all in the MCM menu. I have no idea if it's even remotely how it works. Probably not, but that'd be cool. The worst is when I go through these playthroughs, and when I through these, you know, walkthroughs, playtests, and I get to the end and realize I haven't been recording at all. I actually don't use the one that comes with NVIDIA, Shadow Play. I use OBS, which, yeah, I don't know. Like, if somebody has a real strong opinion on those, on better, and why to get the highest amount of detail with the smallest files and the least amount of strain on my system, let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions. Because I honestly don't know. I am unsure. Okay, so I just got a location. Let's see how long it takes to save. I mean, whatever scripts may have been running for that are surely done. There we go. So, I like that. I think it spreads out the stress of the Pyrus logs a little bit. Alright. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a box in my throat today. Quite annoying. Hello. Hey. I'm just waiting for the day that one of these guys, like, clips me in the shoulder while I'm running through there. Like, misses. That would suck. Like we're gonna go with the mall. Alright. I do like when it gets foggy because there are times I definitely get turned around. Not sure where I'm going, it's nice to get, especially, I like it, like, personally, I like playing my game at this speed. If you're in the woods and you can't see, like, the silhouettes up a little bit in this specific instance, but I mean, it's not terribly identifiable as to what part of Skyrim. And I like that. I like a nice, slow playthrough where land feels really enormous. And admittedly, changing the time scale so that it goes a bit slower, but then making it so I have to walk everywhere, makes the 4 square miles that is this game seem like 100. It's exactly what I like. Just don't know how well that actually works in a Let's Play where you have to watch me wander bushes for hours and hours. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think what I've come to... Oh, Dragon Mountain. What I've come to, I think, is my first Let's Play that I have planned. I will do it where I do run. And then my second one that I do... excuse me. I will, quite possibly actually do it as a slow playthrough. For a fully immersive experience. See how that goes. Ow. No. Ooh. That one was nice. I just have to remember not to go leaping off cliffs because I do not have God mode on. Yeah, look at all those water plants. Love what that one does. Excuse me. There is one big, like, faux pas that Enhanced Landscapes does in Riften that I just remove. I don't know why it's there, because I believe it's with vanilla. I don't know how the mod author, how he or she missed that.
Give 'em the dogs, boys. It's so much easier to rob when you're dead. Can't wait to count out your coin.
Hello.
You won't get the best of me.
Ow. Love this. Yeah, I just slept a bit weird last night, and here it is, still just hear it in my throat and my voice. Yeah, I think these docks are added by... Fences might be as well. Not positive on that. I like them. Where I go? I don't think this is the way I go. Because I'm lost in the fog, in the middle of the woods. Brilliant. Excuse me. Yeah, this scratchy throat. Love the grasses. God.
Never should have come here. What's a milk drinker like you doing out here?
Like
Go
the field.
home to your mother.
I like mine more. So hopefully, if this one builds, next time I'm looking at... I haven't fully decided yet what I'm going to do. But I am leaning towards unique border gates with variation. Love variation. And I'm considering actually taking off JKs Skyrim, taking all of the individual JKs, and then merging them. But leaving out, I think one that I wanted to leave out might have been Morthal. I think it was Morthal and Rorikstead. I'm not a fan of those as much. And then putting on expanded towns and cities on the individual ones. And actually just merging them so that I end up with essentially two mods. One as JKs and one as expanded towns and cities, but they are more cherry-picked on which cities I am using. And then I would actually just rename the merged one, probably JKs Skyrim.esp. I believe that will allow mods that need that as a master to actually use it as a master. Which are things that I'll be putting in eventually, hopefully, like Solitude Reborn. It needs that. So, and taking out, Rorikstead's not any effect whatsoever. So, that's what I'm looking at next time. I'm also looking at putting in Skyrim Floral Overhaul and the SMIM for just pumping up some of the basic plants and the basic 3D models. So, and aside from unique border gates, possibly putting in signs, weathered signs, which love the fences. Sometimes I feel like
What is it?
I'm suspicious of weathered signs. Put it that way. Kind of like I'm suspicious of immersive landscapes. So, but I like weathered signs. I think it's called weathered signs. The one with like the lamps hanging out and stuff. And somebody made a relighting mod for it, which is perfect. But I know Point the Way, which is I think by Arthmore, is more popular. But it's not as visually varied and interesting. Kind of what I'm looking for. So I'm hoping that Weathered Signs is as stable and compatible as Point the Wave. But we'll see. So, and then I'll put in a couple of smaller mods. More than likely, the other ones that I try to put in a situation like this where I'm building, I'll put in like 4 that do not have ESPs like that type. Like a lot of the menu items, menus, whatnot. Some of the animation ESP, they don't show up. And sometimes textures. I tried looking the other day. There we go. There's that lockpick. Easier lockpick. I tried looking the other day because I am not a mod maker. I am not familiar with the creation. I am a modder. I'm mostly familiar with, you know, all the tools to make the game and make it run perhaps a little bit better and with more options. From TES5 Edit and Dry Bash, Mod Organizer, the Skyrim Mod Combiner, I love Skyprockers, and FNIS. I know those. I don't know modding. I don't know the creation kit. So I actually took a look the other day at what is it? Immersive armors.
Greetings, brother.
Because realistically, I think immersive armors and immersive weapons should be combined. And have an MCM menu that allows you to turn them on or off, or turn individual weapons on or off. If you just hate one weapon and the way it looks, you just go in, you click the thing, and it moves it from all the leveled lists by running a script. Because realistically, that script, I think it already runs a script. Are you kidding me? Am I missing a mesh? I am. I forgot to turn on my mod organizer managed mods. We'll get to a save location and try to put that back in there. Whoops. This is why I do this. I have a checklist for getting ready each time, and let me tell you sometimes that doesn't even help. But yeah, so I took a look at immersive weapons, trying to figure out how to, or immersive armors, trying to figure out how I might add in weapons or armor to that. Like, could I do it? Is there a way in the mod that's sort of built in, for lack of a better term? Could not make heads nor tails of it. Yeah, it's not my forte. So, but personally, and I've talked about this before. I personally believe that's the next place that we need to go, especially with being just days away from, from the release of the special edition version of Skyrim, which changes us to 64-bit. I'm hoping that we can get rid of that memory cap, which is the biggest thing, and that we change how we address mods as a community, and we build systems, which, as I understand it, Fallout 4, which I have not played, is a little bit better about that. It has systems in place that you may add your mods to. And I think that is the next place that we need to go. This is a place I'm a big fan of the mod that adds the outdoor or the out of Skyrim realms. Like there's one, I forget who makes them, J something, where you can go all the way out here, you know, and there's tons of stuff, and he adds some stuff on this side of the mountain range, and some stuff down by, we have Folkrith, down here, a whole bunch of stuff out here, and then extends this border like way beyond with islands and stuff. But that mod, or there's 3 of them, and one of them at least is incompatible with enhanced landscapes because of this. Ow. Yeah, no, this is not going to happen. We just need to run. But I'd like to see more systems. I'd like to see a system where Spice of Life, you know, makes it so you can add textures of barrels in, and it will just randomly place them or replace barrels around the world. I'd like to see immersive armors and immersive weapons combined and make it so you can just drag and drop a weapon mod into the folder in your mod organizer or Nexus mod manager folder that is inside of that mod, and it will automatically add it to the game, and you can go in and you can adjust statistics to it right there. So you go into your MCM menu for you know, immersive weapons and armor, and you say, oh look, I just added this neat looking dagger, but the guy who made it, you know, made it so it was doing 1 billion points of damage. And I don't want that. I want it to do like a slightly more powerful dagger, so I will change that. If we do that, and it adds it to all the leveled lists, and it's all totally there and whatnot, and you can actually go right there and change keywords if you need to. You know, you don't want an iron dagger with a keyword of ebony because it'll be on the wrong list, stuff like that. You build that so you can do it all in the MCM. All of the sudden, you just go through, you find every single armor and weapon mod that you want, and you drop them into this folder. You take, you know, 15 minutes to go through it in your MCM menu, and let it load up and go. And that, I think, is the next step for Skyrim modding. The only other major inconvenience that we have that I don't know a way around is, I think, the pathing. It's the I forget what they call it because I don't, obviously. Where you lay down the little thing, the marker in the creation kit that says NPCs and so forth and so on this is where they walk, this is where they want to go. And sometimes when you add a mod in, it breaks that, you know, so you add an inn on the side of the road, and all of a sudden people walking down the road can't walk any further than that because that pathing is broken. If there was a way that we could actually make it so you could fix that in game, so that you could, I don't know, use a power and see that there was one going right here, and oh look, it breaks right here, and then add something. Because if you're not a modder, it's kind of a mystery. You don't know what anything is. I don't get in the creation kit, so I don't know what they look like. I don't know how they work. And again, this is probably impossible. But I think it would be cool. The other advantage is you can actually... The fact that it chucks that buddy. The other thing about doing something like the immersive armors... Totally gonna die, so I'm not wasting my time getting killed. Here we go. Alright, all done with the loud music? Ooh, hello. The other thing that you could do with the Immersive Armors one is mark something specific as unique. You know, if you know that a mod adds it into the world in one location, puts it right here on the table, and that is the only place that you can get it, you go in, you find it in the MCM menu, and you mark it as unique and perhaps placed. You know, or forgeable, or, you know, something like that. Just to be able to manage those and not end up where you find, oh look, whoops, I just found an artifact that accidentally got added into the MCO or the level list. That's where the system benefits and is better. It also makes it so if two guys go and do a retexture of, say, Elven Armor, because we don't have very many retextures of that, do we? You can actually go in and add 9 different types of Elven Armor that are all slightly different, even if some of them have similar themes, and name them, you know, whatever naming convention you would like. So, Gilded Elven Armor, or Northern Elven Armor, or, you know, whatever. And make it so in the game, there are now 10 different types of Elven Armor, and they all have the same or extremely similar stats, depending on what you decide. And they're just there. You know, you have so much more variation rather than having to be worried about, you know, it'd be cool if there was just a texture replacer for Elven Armor, that you could put it in there, and the MCM menu would say, this is just a texture that goes to Elven Armor. Would you like to create a different series, perhaps, is the word that I would use, rather than set or unique set or anything like that. A different series. Oh, you guys are of Elven Armor. And you would click yes, and it would add that texture to a new mesh that is, or to a mesh that is, you know, the Elven Armor mesh, and have it so it's unique, so it doesn't replace anything. It just gets added in. And I've no idea, you know, these are the things that I think about when I'm sitting around at night drinking scotch, playing Skyrim. Is, boy, how would I build this? How would I make this game? And the same can be said for spells. That system, I would imagine, works very well alongside spells that might be added. You know? And if the barrels thing is if it's hand placed, this wouldn't work. But if it's not hand placed, you could actually apply that to essentially any item. You know, static item in the game. So, rock piles. Da-da-da-da. Here. So, I don't know. Thinking out loud, that is the type of things that I think we'll be looking for in the next iterations of modding as we go forward, and as we prepare for the inevitable release of the next Elder Scrolls game. Especially because we've seen that the most important thing that comes out of modding is the fact that Bethesda is learning. They're learning from the brilliant modders, and they're adapting some of their ideas, which I think is perfect. I have no problem with that. Personally, I think that on ones that they use, like for instance SkyUI, which they practically yoinked as it was and took it for the Elder Scrolls Online, it would be nice if they approached the community and said, hey, you've made a brilliant mod, we'd like to pay you $1,000 to be able to adapt this idea in our own way in the future. Not because they need to, because quite honestly, they don't. Actually, I believe that in modding, anything that we create, they can technically take. I think that because the first thing is, it's exciting. As a community, if we heard that some bloke just got his mod picked up, that's exciting. That's like watching your friends win contests. That's seeing change. It's validation of what you do as an art form and turning it into a career and the ideas that you have. It's sort of, for lack of a better term, being as I've been watching these lately with my wife, it's kind of like Paint Wars or Steampunked or Face Off. The shows where you come in and you're an amateur and you kind of compete. And obviously this isn't a competition per se, other than gets chosen wins. But you get, first off, exposure, and second off, potentially a little bit of money. Because, let's be honest, $1,000 is not a ton. But I think there's not a single modder in this community who, if paid $1,000 for what they built for free, wouldn't jump all over that. And I don't think Bethesda should pay more than that. Because, quite honestly, they don't have to. This is their game. They made it. They own it. They own the intellectual property. And a lot of people don't like that idea, but I get it. Because I work in film. I'm a film producer. And so the whole idea of owning your intellectual property and owning your creation and the things that are made in that is important. It's an important thing to have.
Hey there.
What they're doing in that is recognizing the community's input, rewarding them, and quite honestly, probably at a very small cost overall, because if they went out and they picked 100 mods, but they said, these are good enough that we would like to just take the idea and play with it in our next game, and they pay each of those modders $1,000, it's $100,000. But the buzz around that, that was a point. I thought it was a cut in the ground. The buzz around that in the community of people making money, of which mods are getting picked up, of the quality of them, and everybody's going to go download all those because, of course, they are likely higher quality if they already haven't downloaded them. It would create its own hype, which in turn sells the game and rewards the community for doing what they're going to do anyway. That's my opinion. I don't think Bethesda will ever do it. Corporations don't think like people, and they shouldn't think like people. And for them, that's illogical, because it would be spending $100,000 on something they don't need. that could be just profit for the shareholders. I get it. But, yeah, there's my pipe dream. I need a follower to talk to, so I stop nattering on. What time is it? It's 6:20. Don't really have a place that I can sleep. Take me a bit. Oh yeah, check that out. Take me a bit to get back to Riften, the way that I go. Look at this. Hello. Take note of this shrine's location. Dayspring Way Shrine discovered. Beryl Dalmo's journal added. As you approach the enigmatic ruins, a mysterious note blows through the wind, twirling at your side. Out of curiosity, I decided to hold on to it. Started on the metaphysics of moving bodies. Discover the whereabouts of the torn. Discover the whereabouts of the torn. I thought it was. Okay, completed quest main 10. That's interesting. Why it does that. That's... I wonder if it always does that, or if that's just in my build. I have somehow made it so it's saying perhaps the thing. If not, somebody let the maker of Swift know that that's going on. Maybe we can get it fixed. Alright, so I'll be running in the dark for a little bit. Do I have a torch? No. Why would I have a torch? So I will run back to Riften, and then I will actually save it when I get there. I'll actually save it when I get to Riften. And go and re-click the mod organizer managed. Hello. Ah. No, you don't.
Yes. Never should have come here.
Yeah, you should never have come. Jerk. I'll go add in those to mod organizers, so they're managed by mod organizer again. Probably missing like Brawl Bugs patch as well, cool like that. And the high resolution patches. Yeah. So I'll go add those. Come back in. Go again. We'll head up through this valley, up to the top of that mountain pass, and then back down.
Picked a bad time to get lost, friend.
Dude, that was your shin. And it's through the... Oh. I just kicked your shin through the, step. My hammer. That sucks. That sucks for you. Is that vanilla? That was in SFO. These don't look like SFO. Eventually I do need to add realistic aspen trees because yuck. Hate that. Let's see, what are we wearing? Elven, Iron, and Elven. Reduces incoming fire, frost, and shock damage by 1/3. Resistance is 0. When resistance is 0. Oh. Do not do that. All right. Let's see. And I am going to also be recording something with one of my mates that I will probably put up on YouTube, and then we will also put it up on iTunes, because it's technically going to be a podcast, but I figured since I already have my YouTube channel, I would just throw it up on here as well. I would just throw up all over it. Brilliant verbiage. Brilliant. And that is, we're doing a podcast, a series called My Book is Better Than Yours. I listened to this podcast called Unspoiled, done by the illustrious and beautiful Natasha Winters. It is absolutely brilliant. The premise is she reads a book or watches a TV series with a friend of hers, and one of the two of them is unspoiled. They have never seen it. They're unfamiliar with it. They have no spoilers. And they go through, and one of them is spoiled, and so they are the moderator, as it were. And they go through this journey together, and you, as a listener, get to listen along. And so far, Natasha has done dozens of different things. She started out with A Song of Ice and Fire, which I was lucky enough to get on that bandwagon the very first year that it came out, Game of Thrones, when it came out, because of one of my friends in high school. At the time, I was a Robert Jordan fan. I felt there was nothing better, and he said, "Here, dude, you got to try this." I tried it, and I don't think I ever read another Robert Jordan book after that because I realized it was crap. But she went through doing A Song of Ice and Fire, and then she has also done, things from Scandal to The Leftovers to what's she done? She does a lot of the Netflix ones. May have done House of Cards. I forget if she did or not. But she has done like Luke Cage, things like that. Lots and lots of different options. My favorite of them, honestly, is the Harry Potter one, because I am absolutely a Potterhead. For me, Skyrim, Game of Thrones, and Harry Potter, you're covering 95% of the bases where I'm gonna be hanging out and spending my time right there with those three. She covers Harry Potter. They're currently in book 7 with the wonderful and hilarious Rashawn De La Boca. I'm hoping I said your name correctly, Sean, if for some reason you ever come across this. But my friend and I, my friend Jack and I, we were inspired by this. We love the format. We love the way it goes. And he's a writer. I'm a writer. I do film production, and he does music. Brilliant musician. But we debate and talk about writing and games and movies and stories constantly. And we just decided one day we should do a podcast where it's us, nattering on, but where there's two of us nattering on. Where we discuss books that we've read. And we're always saying, hey, dude, you got to read this book. I love this book. You got to read this book. He's never read a Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire. And so he will be reading that. And I will be kind of guiding him through it. That. And it looks like we had looked at maybe doing, having me read Brandon Sanderson, because I've never read Brandon Sanderson before. But we may have changed our mind, and we might be going with Jim Butcher. I don't know, Dead to Rights or I forget. I forget which book we're starting, but it's likely the most logical one. If you are familiar with those series. Obviously, I'm the unspoiled one on that one. I have no idea about either Brandon Sanderson or Jim Butcher. I have never read either of them. But yeah, so we will read a chapter of each in each session, and then discuss them, and do predictions, and go through the experience of him dealing with the Lannisters and the Starks and the Targaryens, and me dealing with I don't have a clue because I am unspoiled. But the podcast will be called "My Book is Better Than Yours," and I'm very excited about that. It's something that I'm doing just on top of the modding and building of this playthrough, and on top of any writing and film producing that I am developing or working on. And it's exciting. I think it will be a lot of fun. So I will actually throw those up here on YouTube, as well as on iTunes. So, yeah, good times. All right, so we're pulling here in Riften. So far, not a single crash. Don't go crashing on me now. Let's see.
Staying
Hello?
safe, I hope.
Yep, very much. Okay, let's go get a room at the inn, and I will save it and go load those other bits.
I run the meat and produce stand at the market. Come by and see.
So it's 8 o'clock. It's probably not going to get any darker than this.
Aha, a fellow Nord.
My question is, do I want it darker?
You're bringing the fight to the Empire?
See, that actually feels better to me. I like that,
If your
because there are
allegiance lies with the
deep
Empire,
shadows
you haven't much to
that if
discuss.
I'm not holding a torch, I can barely see outlines and such, and these all of a sudden become important. But there's deep shadows, even though I can still see. I can still see the whole city. Yep. Hopefully that translates, obviously, since that works great for me. I don't know how well it works for you guys, though.
Welcome to the Bee and Barb, my lord.
Hello?
If I can interest
If you've
you
got the
in one of
coin,
our
you're
special
welcome
goods.
here. Otherwise, hit the road.
Yeah, I'd like to rent.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right
Why is
this
there a
way.
zircon sitting on the table?
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, it
This is
added
about
that.
the meadery. We can talk later.
Oh yeah, these are different barrels. Different types of barrels. Sure. Love it. Okay, so let's go up to the room.
presume you're bothering me for a good reason.
Nope. Good reason.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Yep.